Okay, let's take a peek at math today. I've got it over here, and I'm trying a Chrome extension called PDF Text Help PDF Reader. And I think I'll be using this more because I like what it can do. So this here is a screenshot reader, and I can highlight parts of the text. Even though it's not perfect quality, it should be able to read it back to me once it figures out what it's trying to say. It might take a little longer because it's a bit fuzzy.
Carlos and Anna made repeating patterns. Mono repeated 6 shapes over and over.
Okay, so not perfect, but that's probably because of the quality. Anyways, what we're looking at today are repeating patterns. And the main thing that we're looking to notice is where do we find the part of the pattern that repeats, which we know is called the core of a pattern. Back up here is where we talked about that. And then we're going to try to extend the pattern further. So let's just go right into the worksheet, and I'll kind of talk through a couple of the questions, and hopefully that'll give you an idea on how to get started here. Oh, I'm so sorry. In and out. All right. So let's take a look here. See if I can find my... Oh, no. See if I can find my controls. Where did they go? Okay. Oh. Well, that's frustrating. This didn't happen before. Oh, found them. Here they are. Not sure why they're way up there like that. Oh, I know. It's because I messed around with the size of the page. Aha. Okay. Well, now that you had to listen through that, you should be ready to go. So if reading is something that you're still working on, this is a nice extension to take some of the reading out of math, because in math we want to be able to focus on math. We can save reading for reading. So I'm going to use this screenshot highlighter to find out what this question is asking me to do.
Circle the part that repeals. Show the next 4 items in the pattern.
Okay, so circle the part that repeats, it should say. So in this first pattern, I'm looking at big Y, medium Y, little y, big Y, medium Y, little y, big Y, medium. I think I can answer that question. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to use a circle, I'm going to use a square just because I find that it's a lot easier to control. And the part of the pattern that repeats is this right here. Big Y, medium Y, little y. And then I'm going to continue the pattern. I'm just going to do that by drawing some nice Y's freehand. So big Y, there's a medium Y, and a little y. Oh, it's kind of the same size as my medium Y. Big Y. And that's how you do this question. So you're going to do that over in B, C, and D. And I'm going to scroll down my page a little bit. And question 2, kind of the same idea. Circle the part of the pattern that repeats and fill in the missing parts of the pattern. So let's see, in this first one, I'm looking at squares. So gray, white, gray, 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 white, gray, 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 white, gray, gray. Okay. So I think the core of my pattern is going to be 4 terms long. Oops, I need to select rectangle. So there's a 4 terms long pattern. And if I'm going to continue the pattern, I've got, let's just change this to gray. So after white, it looks like there's 3 gray squares. Gray, 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 and then white. Okay, down here, so this is a number pattern. It's the same type of thing. It should repeat. It's just using numbers and not shapes. So I take a look at this one too. 987, 89, 36. 987, 89, 36. So once again, I have a core of 4 terms, and they're these 4 numbers. 987, 89, 36. I'm going to use my typewriter function here to fill in the missing parts of the pattern. I can move it down a little bit, and I should be able to stretch it out. Perfect. So after 987, I'm just going to use the space bar to move over to my next space. 89, okay, there's 36. And 987, 89, 36. Okay, and click check. Everything looks good there. Okay, let's scroll down to the next question. So here it just wants me to circle the pattern core. So all that's asking me to do is finding the part of the pattern that repeats and circling it. So why don't we take a look at, so like I said, I'm going to use a rectangle to circle my patterns because I can just control it better with this extension than the circle. Circle's tricky. Green, red, blue, red, green, red, blue. It's trickier than I thought. Green, red, blue, red. Green, red, blue, red. There we go. I find I just have to kind of play around with the patterns and sometimes how I read them before I figure out what the core is. So here's another core with 4 terms. This one here looks like it might only have 2 terms in the core. Okay, so question 4 is asking you how to compare the 2 patterns. How are they the same and how are they different? Here's a 1, 2, 1, 2 pattern and a shape pattern. So I'm going to leave this for you to try to put some answers down, figure out. And then here, number 5, it says the repeating part of each pattern is described. Draw or write the pattern for the first 9 pictures or numbers. And I just want to make sure that I'm introducing some good math vocabulary. So draw or write the pattern for the first 9, I'm going to call that the first 9 terms. I'm just going to put that word here. Terms are each part of a pattern. And let's stick around. Okay. And then down here it says 1 large and 2 small circles where every 3rd circle is black. Okay, so you'll have to do 9 circles to show the first 9 terms of that pattern. And question 6, I think it's our last question, which is great. It says use blocks to model each repeating pattern. Circle the pattern core, then describe each pattern. So if you wanted to, you could go in and use our virtual manipulative pattern blocks, but you don't need to do that to answer this question. So if you're going to circle the core, so what is the part of the pattern that repeats? I'm going to take a rectangle and I'm going to circle.
Daddy,
it goes triangle, square, triangle.
Down here.
And then you would have to describe that. So describing this pattern, I might say something like, why don't I do this once you can see what that might look like when we describe a pattern. I always want to say where I start with. So start with a triangle.
Mommy, look where
then a square.
Daddy, you're not looking at me.
I know, I'm almost done this video. We're on our last question.
Yeah, this is where we live.
That's right. What country do we live in? Start with a triangle, then a square, then a triangle, and then repeat.
That's good spelling, Daddy.
Wow, thank you. What a nice compliment.
Why do you have to spell?
All right, so hopefully that helps you with your math worksheet today, and hopefully I'm in school tomorrow to take a look at it and to move on to our next lesson. All right, hope everyone had a great day. You want to say bye, Marshall?
Bye, Marshall.